What's going on, people? Welcome to the match preview show as we face Everton. And trust me, it feels like a massive game due to us not winning a single game yet so far this season. We're going to be discussing that and also some individual players. We mentioned it in the last preview. We're going to be talking about it here. Ismail Issar and more. As always, make sure to get involved by leaving down your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy the content, hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace videos. As you can see, I'm joined by T, Nick, and Stan. Let's start off with you, Stan. Because, I mean, before we did start the recording, you did talk about maybe, we need a bit of calmness in Palace. You might, I don't know, it's worth asking you because you mentioned it, but how are you feeling going into this game? Is there like a bit of a panicky vibe to you that you don't like about, the expectations against Everton, or?
I wouldn't say a panicky vibe that I don't like about the expectations, but and listen, I think we 100% need to start winning a game or two because it's what's it called? It's critical. But I just think I think let's really get behind some of these newer players. I think on certain social media channels, I've just noticed some toxicity about. So like the likes of Lacroix and stuff like that. And I think that he showed, especially second half versus United, how good he's actually going to be for us and stuff like that. And I think there's, some people are starting to, I saw some people calling the board out and this and that. And I was just, I think, look, I don't think that it's the time or the place for any of that. And I think we just need to get behind the team and hope that they can win somewhere that they haven't done since 2014. So, I think we just need to, we need to relax a little bit.
Yeah, Everton away from home is not easy, T. It is not easy. We just can't get a result there. But it is an important game because when you look at Everton so far this season, they've bottled leads. They haven't won a single game as well. And this is, I know when you look at stats, you're saying Everton away from home, it's going to be difficult. We never beat them away from home. But we ended that record against Chelsea where they were on a 13-game run against Palace. And this is another record to end, to finally beat Everton at their own ground. But for you, how important is this game? Would you be okay with, let's say, a point if the unbeaten run continues due to the record that we have, or is it 3 points by any means, all means necessary to be there?
Honestly, I wouldn't be super upset if we ended up only getting a point here. I mean, we know how crazy it is to go down to Everton and make that happen. So no, I don't feel like, hey, it's 3 points or nothing, so I wouldn't be mad if we went in and only got a point. It's just another thing and, another building block for us moving forward. But, it's going to be a tough match. I mean, it's a Sean Dyche managed side. So they're probably going to be extremely resolute defensively, and that's always going to be a tough task for us. But, the one thing that we've seen under Alan Glasner is we've seen a lot of changed performances against teams that we've historically, had certain streaks against. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came out and did something different or better, hopefully, than what we've seen in past trips to Goodison.
Yeah, Nick, how far are we, do you reckon, from that win? I mean, it's 5 games unbeaten now. There have been some negatives in those performances as well as some positives. But I think after the Leicester game, there's more pressure on this one because of the fixtures that we have. Surely, if you don't beat Leicester, you need to be beating Everton, even if it's away from home. I mean, where is the next win going to come from if it's not against Everton, if it's not against Leicester?
Be against Liverpool, won't it, now in Palace?
Exactly. But we're entering the must-win territory.
We are, and it's almost, dare I say it, and I think we're going to be higher up the table come the end of the season. But as the table stands, at the moment, it's a 6-pointer. And it's more to do with the psychology and confidence of it, I think. just to bounce away a little bit from that bottom pack would be really, really helpful. I mean, 2014, you say, was the last time we won there. We should call it Badison, not Goodison. So,
That's 2014. It's crazy though. It's actually crazy. 2014, since we beat Everton away from home, you would think they are City. I mean, they've had some terrible. If that is true, are you sure that's correct, Stan? It doesn't feel surely
It was
not.
2014. The goal scorers were Fraser Campbell, Mila Jedinak, and Yannick Balassi. The manager was Neil
crazy.
Warnock. It was a 3-2 win.
And they've had some bad sides. I know they've had some good sides, but
terrible
bad sides in recent years as well. I don't understand it. What do you think it is with Goodison Park? Is there anything in particular? Is it just like one of those grounds where you just struggle to win with no real reason? It's not like Everton or Man City. It's a bit confusing why we have such a bad record away from home against them.
I don't know, but records are there to be broken. So let's hope we do it this weekend.
The last thing, remember the game where the season where Everton were nearly relegated and we lost 3 minutes of the game from the Everton fans going on the pitch. I mean, you've got to take that into account.
10 years.
They're under a right old malaise at Everton. Okay, the ownership thing might be sorted out, which I know you did something the other day about with Hector and where he's going to stand. So I look forward to watching that when I've got time away from playing the pre-order FIFA this week. They're a difficult team to play against because they haven't actually been that bad. They've let slip 2-goal leads twice. They're going to be looking at being tired defensively. I'm not sure how we can set up. Have we got the right set of players for the way he wants to set up, or does Glasner need to set up a little bit differently to suit the players that we've got? Because if we see Kamada in front of the defence, I'm going to go Doolally. It's causing people to slag him off for no reason when he didn't do too bad there. And if you look on who scored, the number of tackles he makes, he wins more than he doesn't win. And he's always looking, but he's not used to that position. It's a shame that Kamada and Eza can't just sit behind a striker. We go to a 4-man midfield, including those two, and a 4-man defence.
You know what I will say. Sorry, D. I will say, Nick. Like when you go up there at the moment, like with Sean Dyche, like he's got 2 absolutely like old school centre halves. You know, he's 2 banks of 4, and like they're hard for our more sort of flair players to play against. But if you're up against, I know they're not the greatest players, but you've got Michael Keane as one of them. You've got either Branthwaite or Tarkowski as another. These are old school centre halves. They're difficult to play against. Branthwaite obviously is a bit more ball playing. I'll give him that. He's a lot more ball playing actually. But 2 banks of 4. He's packed the midfield. Idrissa Gana Gay's back for them. He's torn us a new one quite a few times recently. It's going to be a tough game, man. And I think we might need to set up a little bit differently. Like I said, like Kamada in front of the back 3, like just don't even.
Do you think you've mentioned how tough the centre backs are for Everton? So, would that suggest you'd keep Mateta there just because he's a bit bulkier and be able to deal with them more?
There's quite a few topics. Let's try and get into them individually now. With the formation, we have seen glimpses of Glasner actually changing it in the game with 4 at the back, but he hasn't started a game like that so far this season, T. But when you look at Everton away from home, do you think this is the game to change the formation?
Man, I feel like that can go either way, because you could think to change the formation because we want to get a new feel, especially with those front attacking players. But at the same time, you could think of what Nick was just bringing up, the fact that, you're going up against some pretty old school center backs, big guys, and maybe you want to have a big guy there to fight against them, or maybe you want somebody quicker to get in behind. It's all kind of like, it's like, what are you wanting from this match philosophically? What are you looking to do? Are we looking to play more on the front foot? Are we looking to hit them on the counter more? So my guess is that, I wouldn't be surprised if we stuck with JP up top and with Ebbs and Ketia, because maybe Glasner feels like with another week of training and then playing together, they're building on their understanding, and that we can see what we're wanting to get from them. But at the same time, I wouldn't fault him at all for maybe making a change and maybe giving JP a rest. And I don't know if it's maybe throwing Nketiah up top, or what we've seen from throwing Sarr there. So I think either way, it's really interesting that we have those type of high quality options to make within the team.
Yeah, I agree. But look, that was the conversation even going into the United game. It was, does Sarr come in? Which I didn't personally agree with in terms of the starting 11. I thought you should start Mateta again. However, based on his performances so far this season and the second half display against United, Sarr helped us massively. Yes, the first half was terrible against United, but the second half, in terms of opportunities created, it pretty much came from Sarr. And unfortunately, Eze couldn't finish off the massive chance, which he should have. But he did change the game, Nick, with his pace. And I'll be honest, in this game, I'm much more open. I'm sold. I'm sold on the idea from those who were saying that Sarr should be starting. I don't think it would be the worst case scenario. And it was also quite telling from Glasner as well, subbing off Mateta at halftime for Sarr.
Well, first point of that would be, I don't think Sarr would have had the chances in the first half had he been on for Mateta the way we were set up. It wasn't just Sarr that was changed. The whole thing was tweaked, wasn't it? Wharton was taken off as well, which made a hell of a big difference. Hughes made an impact there. It's really difficult because I like to think of Sarr as kind of an impact player that will come on and change things. What's worrying, and I'm just moving away a little bit from what you're saying, is that Glasner has done really well to change things at half time because we haven't been playing the way he's wanted us to play. I'm paraphrasing. Why are we not playing like that in the first half then? What this could be our Achilles heel as to having poor first halves. Glasner having the wherewithal to sort it out, but there must be a way, or even an old NFL style playbook that Glasner can say, right, we'll set up this way. This is formation B4, and let's go and switch to a B4. The players will know what it is, and he doesn't have to have the halftime talk. I don't know.
Nick, I think you raise a good point there, but I will say that there's certain teams that you can set up against in one way, and certain teams you can set up against in another way. I do think personally that he needs to set us up to go at them, because who plays fullback there? Mikalenko and Ashley Young, is it? Are they their fullbacks?
Yeah, Seamus Coleman is out injured, I think.
Dude,
so.
Someone needs to run at those fullbacks because they're not exactly world beaters, and someone needs to run at them. Granted, Seamus Coleman has a worldly against Palace every time he plays.
That's two we've got now.
Yeah. So he has, and so Ashley Young will wind back. He always winds back the clock as well for Everton every time he plays against us as well. Listen, I'm not being negative, like I said, but this is a tough game. But I think you've got to go for it, and someone's got to run at those fullbacks. Goodison Park as well, very intimidating. Fans very close to the pitch. Pitch is small. They're a long ball side. They lump it long. We got to be ready, man. Got to be ready.
It did make me laugh that you said Ashley Young, and I was thinking, God, how the hell is he still playing? And then the next name you mentioned was Coleman, and I think he's even older, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It's going back to the literally early 2013, 14, 15. around them times when you talk about Seamus Coleman and Ashley Young. But that's the thing, though, T, because got a lack of quality, and that's why it does add pressure in this game. They've got a few good players, but especially in the defense, from what Stan has mentioned, from the fullbacks, that is an area we can target. But I guess the only way we target is if we keep the same formation is with our wing backs pushing up, which of course Munoz has been struggling for fitness, and he's had the rest for 2 days, so hopefully he's had a nice bit of rest and is ready for this game. But it's going to be crucial that the likes of Mitchell and Munoz get involved in this game, especially with trying to hurt the fullbacks if we're playing in the back three.
Yeah, you definitely have to target those areas, those weak spots for them too, because like we said, they have two pretty decent center backs. So definitely in attacking those wide defenders, where the weakness lies, is going to be important for us. It's good that I think Munoz got that break, because as Glasner was saying, we want to give him breaks. He doesn't want to take them. He's the kind of guy, hey, if I'm healthy, if I'm able to get out there, I'm playing. You know what I mean? So, and that's great to have, but you also have to be sound to the fact that guys need rest. The one thing I do want to point out that I think is really important to notice is that Glasner made a switch at halftime.
Yeah.
Last match, and we haven't seen that prior to now. So that makes me think also that we may be closer to a change than most people may realize, because most managers aren't going to make that move unless they are extremely unhappy about something that they're seeing. You know what I mean? Because he could have kept the same lineup, made adjustments at halftime, kept the same lineup for maybe 15 minutes into the second half, 20 minutes into the second half, and then made changes. He's like, no, we're making this change right now at halftime for the second 45 minutes. So we also may be closer to some changes in that lineup than most people realize. But either way, I would hope that in this situation, we are going to be a little bit more attacking. We've really played a lot of counter-attacking football in our most recent matches, and I hope that we go out and we try to control the game a little bit more. Yeah,
the press has been off. I mean, United game, I thought we gave them too much respect in the first half. And that was the most surprising thing about it. We were just kind of sitting back, but then United were just passing about. And on the Glasner, we haven't really seen that. So I did, whilst doing the match reaction with Stan, I did ask the question, maybe it might be a fitness issue because he plays against Upton at halftime. Also, the press being off as well. Like, is it just a case of these players are not 100% fit to play that type of football, which is still annoying, the fact that we're still having these conversations. But then halftime subs, for example, for Wharton, I start Wharton in this game, but Kamada has to realistically drop out for me. He does have to. It does not work in midfield, and the only way it will work for me is as a number 10, which I don't think he should be starting in this game as a number 10, especially with the physical game that Everton will bring up to us as well. So it's not going to be an easy game for him. And I'll keep Wharton in midfield. I'll play. I'm not really bothered who plays alongside Wharton, I'll be honest. I think there's been a debate between Lerma or Hughes. I lean more towards Hughes because I think Hughes can still do the defensive work. Maybe not as good as Lerma, but I think Lerma is limited on the ball with his passing. So I think
Hughes ain't that great either on the ball.
Yeah, but I think Hughes is just a bit better in terms of that the attacking football and trying to progress the ball. I think Hughes can offer more on the ball, even though it's not that much. Than Lerma. Of course, the Corey would be fantastic, but that's not going to happen. So I would play Will Hughes. I wouldn't be annoyed if Lerma plays as well. It's up to him, but that would be my preference. And I'll drop JP for extra rest and put Nketiah up there and see how that works. As Nick
I disagree
said,
there.
Was that?
Sorry, but they've had a week off. Well, I don't think we'll have problems with fitness with a whole week off. We've had 2 weeks of 3 games a week, or 2 games in a week, Saturday, Wednesday. I think the whole week off, I remember a couple of weeks ago, Glasner saying how he's managing the players coming back, giving some players days off here and there just to recover a bit, or taking them away from training with the team to build their fitness up. So I think he's got that all in hand. So I don't think the fitness thing can wash this week.
Okay. When you look at the performances, then when would you start Sarr, if ever? I mean, what else does he need to do, especially after trying to change the game in the second half?
Oh no, I haven't said I wouldn't. I think he's a good impact sub, but who would you start him over Mateta?
I would.
I wouldn't. Not
It
against
would be
Everton.
one of Mateta or Eddie Nketiah. I think that if you look at, I mean, the club posted a clip of the link, like one of the link ups that Sarr and Eze did, in the second half. I don't like mention in his name, so I'll just say his initials. It was what him and Mo used to do. That was brought it back a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be on the same level, etc., but you need someone that can link with him, that can go and cause a bit of havoc, right?
Mickey Otway.
Yeah, Mickey Otway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael O'Brien or whatever, mate.
Stan, I do agree, and I think that's a big factor as well. But then again, it could work both ways. Even if JP came off the bench, and that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world as well, because I mean that would be tiring Everton defenders and then a fresh JP. So yeah, I mean, based on performances, I don't know what else Sarr can do. Sarr really did change the game for us in attack. He really did.
He's done it multiple times. He's done
it exactly. Is that surely at some point you just have to give it a go and see how he does from the start? Because we start the game slow, right? We always say we start the game slow. So if we start the game slow, then would it not make sense to have that impact player actually start the game to see how, to see if that makes a difference? Because the first half's performances, it hasn't really been that great in any of the games so far this season, apart from West Ham. West Ham, we did create chances, but we didn't finish them. But apart from that Chelsea first half, we struggled. You could say because of Will, who's his yellow card. Leicester wasn't great. United wasn't great. So we need to change something from the start. Maybe that could be mentality, but for me, I think it could be personnel.
If we're sitting back and counter-attacking like we've done in the last few games, and also, funnily enough, Glasner's manager style in FIFA 25 is our formation in counter-attacking. So there you go. He's got that reputation already in video games. You'd need fast players. Now, what fast players have we got? All right, Sarr is quick. We've got quick players at the back as well, haven't we?
Lacroix, Gay, they're pretty quick.
Yeah, but they're not attackers, are they?
Chris Richards is quick.
Yes, but we're talking about scoring goals here.
Munoz is quick.
Yep. Okay. The other quick player we've got, it's a shame he's quick, but maybe only a 6 out of 10 is Schlupp, isn't it?
No, I knew that was coming.
No, bro.
I mean, Nketiah is quicker than Schlupp is. I mean,
Nketiah is not too bad as well. But yeah, I look.
Dean Henderson's quick.
If you started Mateta, look, I was the one that was saying don't start Sarr ahead of Mateta. But based on what I've seen, even the United game was like, all right, fair enough. You know what? Just give this guy a go. For me, I'm at that stage now. Give this guy a go and see what he does. There's not, and worst case scenario, you can change it up like you have been with Sarr coming off the bench. You can have Mateta coming off the bench. It's like if we have a proper squad, which we do now, you can make these kinds of changes. It's not the end of the world. And Mateta hasn't had a bad start to the season, by the way. He scored goals. I think he's got 4 goals now. So it's not a bad start at all, but to the start of the games, it's just far too slow. So it might be worth getting him on. And look at, for example, Villa with John Duran. He's coming off the bench despite scoring goals, and he's having a proper impact. So yeah, maybe Mateta in this game could have a similar role. But just quickly, before we do wrap up, I just want to quickly mention the defense. For me, first half, it wasn't great at all. Even Glasner said it. The whole team was off it, like in terms of pressing, and just not the defenders. The whole team was off it. Second half, there were improvements. Lacroix felt a bit more comfortable. Gahey as well, looking more like his old self. Chris Richards defensively was fine. This may be unpopular opinion, but I could be looking at potentially Chalobah as well in this game for his ball playing, because I don't know about you, T, because I know you do rate Richards massively. I think defensively, no one can really question it. I think defensively he's been fine. But when I watch him in the stadium, maybe it's different from home. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. I just don't get the sense of, ease when he's on the ball or him even demanding the ball. It's not really his game. I mean, Lacroix and Gay can do it, but when you're trying to play out from the back and the teams are pressing you, I think it can be a problem as well. But what do you think about the Richards situation? You're on mute.
Sorry, mate.
My bad. I think he's doing just fine. I mean, yeah, he may not be the most progressive out of all the back three, but I mean, it's not hurting us by any means. And I don't think that the Chalobah thing happens at this point. Chalobah had no preseason.
I was about to add that
he hasn't played any minutes. You're not going to throw him in there. Like it's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to be a process.
As well.
I think it's going to be a process for him getting back into the swing of things. Not to say that he can't eventually supplant Richards. I just don't think it happens yet because, like I said, I mean, the dude just hasn't played any football. And I mean, his first training session, he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just throw that guy in there. So.
That's fair, especially with his preseason. But also another player coming back, Stan, Franca. Well, fingers crossed anyways. He should be coming back, and that is going to be a nice plus. But the question is, I mean, we'll see. I can't remember the bench off the top of my head. It's like who drops as the bench option? Could it be one of the academy players?
Well, you've got Decore out now, haven't you? So that's the space.
Yeah, but I mean, from the last game. So I know there was. I think
you'd probably take Asher off and put Franco on the bench.
Yeah, and that's a positive as well. That's
impact off the bench. Let's see what he can do because the boy ain't done much since he's been here, man. And we need him to come good. And I know we all want him to come good as well. But let's see what he can do.
Yeah. Let's see. But that's been a healthy discussion on the Everton game. There's a lot to talk about. It is a big game, so let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How are you feeling towards it? But before we do actually wrap up, before I forget, let's go score predictions. Jeez. Away from home, Everton away from home. I'll start off with. I'm going to go with 2-1 Palace. I just don't see us keeping a clean sheet, but I think we've got enough to hurt them on the attack. But anyone else positive go forwards that wants to jump in before any negative result, if there is any?
3-2 Palace. Everton will be winning 2-0.
You know what? My head tells me that it's got a draw written all over it. But I have to back this team to win, man. If you can't back Oliver Glasner to win a game of football with the players that I feel he's got at his disposal, then who can you back? So I'm going to go 2-0 Palace.
2-0 clean sheet, another clean sheet. That clean sheet was massive against United. You reckon we can keep another one?
I think you can, but I think this is just going to be one of those stuck-in, ugly, weird games. They're probably going to get some type of bungled, ugly goal. I think it'll be 1-1.
1-1. Not hard to feel about that.
Yep.
We're still unbeaten, I guess. It will be 6 games, but I think if we're not beating Leicester and Everton, it's like I get it. I get the reasons why. It's not like everyone is ready 100% fit and we're just off it. I get the reasons why, but I think there is enough in this Palace side to hurt Everton. Another week of training as well. I think we're going to do it. I do think we're going to do it. I think we'll manage to get it done. Maybe not the clean sheet, but I think we'll manage to get all 3 points and finally, hopefully, have things going in the right direction. But look, people, if you have enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe. As always, let us know what you think of the game as well, how you are feeling, because I know some of you are putting high expectation on this game, and some people already questioning Glasner, which is crazy.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's not like things are terrible, but everyone's right to their opinion. If you have enjoyed it, like, subscribe. Thanks to all of you. And